Good morning, everybody. Debbie has this file that she wants to convert into a key fob, and she's asked me to make a quick video on how she can achieve this. I have done one or two very similar to this, but here goes. And I might stumble a bit because I wouldn't do it personally this way because I have other programs to help, but in this case I have to work with what I know Debbie has available. So here we go. On the keyboard of your computer, you have a key called print screen, PRNT, usually. Press that once, and what that does is that makes a screen capture of this image, which I've got at 100%, to the clipboard of your computer. Now I'm going to my draw package. I'm going to create a new bitmap. Okay, and I need to select a size which is larger than my screen size. I'm going to do 15 inches by 15 inches, which is a lot larger than my keyboard, but it will, that way I won't get any error messages or anything. I know it will fit. So I'm going to view at 25%, and so this area on the screen is that 15 inches by 15 inches. Now, because I press the print screen, I have captured that screen image, and what I'm going to do now is come up here to this button here, which is to paste that image that I had on the screen, and there it is. And what do I need to do now? What I need to do now is to reduce the size of the background. I'm not reducing the size of the image, just the background. So I'm going to drag in this side, and it's going to come up with an error message saying I can't undo this. And yes, I do want to proceed. And I'm going to drag this top one down, and yes, and I'm going to drag this one to about here and say yes. I can now view it a bit closer, and so you can see this is just what I captured from screen. I'm not removing this because I need to drag out a tab on this part. So now I'm actually going to come in a bit closer, because the first thing I need to do is make that border around around this image, which I'm going to tell it it's going to be an applique with no tack down or satin stitch, so we just have the single line bean stitch. So here we go. I'm going to go to my pen tool. I'm going to pick a color, it doesn't matter which color, and now I need to draw around this image how I would want the outline of the fob to be. I'm assuming this is what Debbie's wanting. So here we go to that. I might come a little bit further away on the top there. So now I'm going to come to a larger brush size, and I'm going to fill this in and neaten it up a little bit. Sorry, I can't speed this up. I'm going to come up to there. So just take your time, and I'll come back to that. And just fill in your image, covering up everything. So here we go. I can now just drag across fairly quick to fill this in. There we go. I'm going to come back out to 100%. And the other thing that I need to add to this is the tab. So I'm coming into my square box on my toolbar, the filled area with no border, and I'm just going to drag out something vaguely in the way of the tab part of whatever size that you want. I'm now going to zoom in a bit closer, go to my circle, my filled with it, out the outline, and come close to this edge here and give it a rounded top that most of you seem to like. So let's go back to 100%. So there we have the image. I can now crop this close and yes, and yes, come in so you can see a bit better to 200. So I want the blue area, but I don't want the background. So what I'm going to do is come up to my magic wand up here in the lowest size, select none to start with, and then I just want to select this shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. And I don't know why the things are not showing on here. As you hover over these toolbars, it should tell you what's happening. So I've copied that to my clipboard, and then what I want to do is come to the white and the fill pattern, select none, and fill total fill there. Okay, that's not playing games, so I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to come to white, and so I've left with a completely white background. I've just drug a box over it and dragged a box over it so it's completely blank. Now I'm going to paste again, and so that image that I copied is put back on the screen. I can now come in and crop that just a little bit closer. Let's select none, and here we have that image just about all ready to go. So I'm now going to close it and save changes to image, and I'm going to call it DM Molly. Okay, save that. Okay, I'm going to open up a new hoop, and I'm going to create Autopunch next, and I now need to go back and find that DM Molly, and there it is. So I can say OK to that, and next, and I'm just going to finish because none of those settings will matter. So here we have the image on the screen. I can select it, go to my outline edit, come into my embroidery settings, my stitch type, and come down to applique. I don't want the first or second or overlock, any of those, and my guide stitch length is on 50. That's fine. I'm going to leave it on 50. That's the one that you can play around with depending on the stitch length on there. So I'm going to apply that. I can change the color if I want, but in fact I think I will change the color. That will separate it out. Apply and stitch it. That will separate it out a little bit better from the other design. So now I'm going to come out of the outline edit, and there, if I view it, realistic view, there I have what will be the final stitching. So what am I going to do? I'm going to save this design as DM Molly Fob, and I'm going to save it as an FHE file and say OK, because I may well need to edit this a little bit. So I'm going to close that. So here we are back to our Molly file. I'm going to paste design, paste the file that I just saved, say OK, and there we have it on screen. but I do need to make it a little bit larger, but as it's proportional it should fit okay. So you just make that where you need it to go. It's going to ask me if I want to do multi-hoop. When I click outside, I'm going to say no to that. So now I have the basics of the key fob. It obviously doesn't fit, so I'm going to come to my design, change size, and rotate it a quarter turn, which is 90 degrees. I'll say OK to that, and let's come in so you can view the whole thing. So there you have the fob equivalent on the screen. And as I said, the stitch length for the fob, I like it to be about 50. You can choose whatever size you want. So Debbie, I hope that helps, and I'll catch up with you in the Autopunch group. Okay, bye